In this video, we're going to do the change of base using the change of base formula. Back in the day, as I mentioned in one of the videos, we did not have any calculators that would give us the values for log of a different base other than 10. We could only do log base 10 on a calculator. So whenever we had logs that had different bases like this, we would have to use this formula. We would have to use this formula, which is the change of base formula, that said the log of whatever base of whatever argument I could change into a log. Let's call this x, a over log x of b. So I could change the log of any base to the log of base 10 if x is 10, and the argument for the log in the numerator would be the argument of the original log, and the argument of the log in the denominator would be the base of your original log. So for example, I'm going to give you this example. If I want to change this log to a base 2, if I want to change it to a base 2, this is what you do. You would write log of the base 2 over log of base 2, and then the argument in this numerator would be the argument of the original log, and the argument in the denominator would be your base of the original log. And this is how your formula would look. Okay? And then you can simplify this. How do you simplify? Well, you ask yourself, 2 raised to what power is equal to 16? 2 to the 4th power is 16, so that means this is 4 in your numerator. And then in the denominator, you do the same thing. 2 to what power gives you 4? Well, 2 to the 2nd power gives you 4, so this is 2 in the denominator, and the whole thing will equal 2. Now, I chose to change this base to base 2. I could have changed it to base 10, okay? I could have said this will be log over log of 16 over 4. Log 16 over log of 4. And if you use your calculator for this, you should also get 2. Okay? So you can check this result. Logarithms are proportional, so any base I use will give me the same result, which makes sense because this log is 2. It can't be anything else. So I can use this change of base formula to change it into any base I want. Back in the day, we would only change to base 10 because that's the only thing we were able to work with in our calculators. But nowadays, I can change bases in my calculator, and you can change it to any base you want. Okay? Let's do example 2. For example 2, I have for example 2 here. I want to change it to a base 3. Oh, before we go to example 2. Log base 4 of 16, you could have done that in your head without having to change the base. You could have said 4 to what power gives you 16, and that is 2. And that's what we got, 2 in each case. Okay? But the skill that you are developing here, and the skill you're going to be tested on, is if you know how to change the base of a log. Okay? But you can already know what the answer will be ahead of time, and when you do change the base, then you can verify that. Okay? And I want it base 2, so we changed it to base 2. This was just extra so that you know that any base you change it to, you're going to get the same answer. Okay, let's do example 2. Example 2, log base 81 of 27. I want to change it to base 3. So you write log base 3 over log base 3. And the argument in your numerator is going to be the argument of the original log. And the argument in your denominator is going to be the base of the original log. And now you can simplify. In the numerator, 3 raised to what power gives you 27? Well, 3 to the third power. So the numerator is equal to 3. And 3 to what power gives you 81? Well, 3 to the fourth power. So the denominator, this whole expression, is equal to 4. And here's your answer. Okay, we changed it to base 3. You can change it to any base you want. You will get the same answer. Okay, but when you have a log, a base that is not a power of your argument, then you'll probably need to use a calculator for it. Okay, to figure out what this value is and what this value is. But the skill here again is just so that you know the formula and you know that you have a tool to change a log from one base to whatever base you need. Okay, so this can be used for other problems that will require you to change bases before you can try and simplify them. For example, if I were to ask you, this is just an example, we're not going to go over it, but if you had something like log base 2 of 3 plus log base 4 of 6, for example, equals, I don't know, let's say x. I don't know. I cannot join these two logs as a multiplication if I try to use the product law. I can't join these as a product because the bases are different. Okay, so if I wanted to add these two together and use the product law, which will let me join these two arguments as a product, I would first have to change the base of these logs, okay, and make them equal, and then I can simplify. So here's one use of this change of base formula, okay, that you might need in certain problems where you need to simplify by hand and you can't because the bases are different. Okay, so then you would need to make them equal. I hope you got this. It's very simple. I tell you the base you need. You write it with that base and then place the argument in the numerator and that in the base of the original log in the denominator, and then simplify if possible. We were lucky with these because I made them so that you were able to simplify them. Okay, if you're not able to simplify them and you don't have a calculator, then you just leave it expressed. Okay, well, I hope you study, practice, have fun with this, and this is the last video. I will see you in class.